We're Coronet Metals. We'd like to share with you the rich history of our White Caps Gold project of South Central Nevada, located in the heart of the prolific Manhattan mining district. In 2012, Coronet Metals acquired the White Caps Gold Mining Company, Inc. The acquisition consisted of the White Caps Mill, historic mine dumps and tailings, and 2,800 acres of patented and unpatented mining and mill site claims in and around the White Caps mine in the Manhattan mining district. The project is situated along the same geological trend as the Round Mountain mine, operated by Kinross Gold, located 13 miles to the north. The first gold production from the Round Mountain district was in 1906, and it produced over 10.5 million ounces of gold, worth about $9.5 billion US at today's prices. Ore reserves and resources total about 1.5 million ounces of gold as of the end of 2015. The gold occurs on the rim of an ancient collapsed caldera and is mainly fine grained, with visible and sometimes spectacular gold occurring in structural intersections. Coronet's strategy is twofold. 1. Generating near-term cash flow by processing the mine dumps and tailings, and Coronet is in the process of evaluating recoveries from the dumps and tails using modern processing techniques. 2. Unlock the great potential of this historic mining-rich district, exploring this very underexplored area to uncover the next Round Mountain. This district has a long history of mining dating back to 1866. Early silver ore discoveries attracted prospectors from across the country that came in search of great riches. This lasted until 1890. The district went silent until massive gold placer deposits were discovered in 1909. 4 cowpunchers traveling through the Manhattan Gulch discovered ore that assayed a whopping $3,000 a ton. Others soon discovered upwards of $10,000 a ton. The gold rush was on. The town sprung up almost overnight, and soon the gulch was filled with saloons, offices, hotels, newspaper stands, and schools. In the district, a property of specific interest was the White Caps mine. It was by far the biggest producing mine in the Manhattan camp during this time, being one of the first camps discovered because of its outcrops and big mineralized veins that ran throughout the property, ranging from 5 to 14 feet wide. The White Cap shaft bottomed out at 1,300 feet, so there was always a serious problem with flooding, which led to its eventual closure because of the high cost of pumping the water out of the mine. The mill associated with the White Caps mine could process around 100 tons of ore in 24 hours. It was the second biggest producer in the Manhattan district, treating 59,056 tons of ore, averaging $12.17 per ton, or $718,723 worth of gold. The mill operated until 1931, and then was left to leasers from there on in, intermittently mining ore from the White Caps mine and surrounding properties when needed. The Manhattan Gulch is made up of gold-rich gravel placer deposits that stretch miles along an ancient drainage. Years of erosion created this deep V-shaped valley, as rainwater would carry small fragments of gold from mineralized veins at the top of the valley to the soft bedrock below. Gold, being a heavy metal, descended down through the gravel, but fragments would get caught in small cracks. This resulted in very sporadic gold deposits across the gulch, making it difficult to predict where to dig. Finding a deposit was almost exclusively based on luck. Mining was very hard in those days, slow, grueling manual work, but the dream of wealth and prosperity was enough to keep these small-scale miners' spirits alive. All of a sudden, their luck changed when in 1933 President Franklin D. Roosevelt raised the price of gold from $20 to $35 an ounce. Manhattan's miners could suddenly afford new luxuries like new pickup trucks and machines to enhance their operations. Advancements brought great prosperity across the land. More gold could be extracted with far less effort. Natomas Company, a large mining company of its time, took note of how lucrative mining became in Manhattan with the introduction of machines. Curious, Natomas sank drill holes into the gulch and uncovered a fortune in gold in the gravel. The company estimated that roughly 25 million yards of gold-bearing gravel could be mined to produce over $3.5 million. And being the pioneers of dredging-type mining operations, they knew that flooding the area and constructing a dredge to scoop up the softened gold-rich material below would be a highly lucrative endeavor. And that's just what Natomas did. In 1937, Natomas organized the Manhattan Gold Dredging Company, and the dredge was finally erected on site in 1938. The dredge had an impressive operational record, operated by only 6 men per shift, 24 hours a day. This was a behemoth project, even by today's standards. The dredge was an enormous boat-like structure, weighing more than 2,000 tons. Partially submerged, and like a giant earthworm, the dredge consumed gravel from up to 75 feet below the water's surface. In a standard 8-hour shift, a line of buckets mounted on the boom would move roughly 37 bucks a minute and could lift 6,580 yards of gravel. That's equivalent to lifting about 600 school buses. The dredge would sort and shift the gravel to send for processing. Leftovers were deposited in tailings piles in its wake. Gold-bearing gravel was prolific on areas paralleling the gulch, but they were too high to reach. So bulldozers and other earth-moving machines would attempt to strip the gravel and dump it right into the path of the dredge for processing. The operation was booming. Then, everything suddenly changed. Early during WW2, the U.S. War Production Board made notice that all non-essential gold mines must cease operation in order to conserve equipment and manpower for the war efforts. Patrick McCarran, at the time Nevada's powerful U.S. Senator, intervened on behalf of the Manhattan Gold Dredging Company, claiming that the operation offered no conflict to the war effort. The company lost many great dredge workers who were then replaced with inexperienced, feeble men not suited for the war effort. Gold recovery rates declined drastically, and the area became littered with piles of tailings. It was estimated that the dredge only recovered 50% of the gold in the gulch, and the rest remains encapsulated in the tailings that are piled across the property today. At the time of its construction, the Manhattan Dredge was the second-largest dredge operation in the U.S. The large dredge produced an astonishing $4.6 million before being dismantled in 1947. Despite being the largest gold producer in the district during its period of operation, the Manhattan Dredge still didn't meet the company's initial expectations. The topography limited where the dredge could go, leaving much gold-bearing gravels behind. Even though the Manhattan District has produced many great mining operations, it still remains largely underexplored. The district has been largely overlooked, mainly because of its complicated land ownership, which stems from years of complex mining history. To follow our story and stay updated on our Whitecaps Gold project, visit us online at www.coronetmetals.com.